Hey, what's up everybody? Justin Myers back here with another video for y'all. So in today's video, I want to share with you all the 3 main guitar amp tones that I use as a pro musician. These tones are often copied by a lot of boutique companies, and there's really nothing better than just the original 3 guitar amp tones in my opinion. So I'm going to go into detail in this video with those 3 tones. Before I go on with this video, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and drop a comment down below. And if y'all would like to show your support for the channel, I have a Venmo and PayPal tip jar, as well as a Patreon page. But I also have a masterclass that will be soon available, so y'all stay tuned for that. Now, anyways, on with the video here. So, the first amp tone that I'm going to talk about here today is the Fender amp tone. Now, this particular amp that I'm highlighting here is a 63 Fender Blonde Bassman amp. Now, these particular blonde bassmans are different from the blackface amps to my ear in that they're a little bit more mid-rangey, they're a little bit brighter, you got the presence knob there as well, and they're just kind of a little bit more Marshall-y, honestly, out of the whole Fender amp offerings there, as far as like if you're comparing it to like a Princeton Reverb or Deluxe Reverb or even a blackface bassman, of course, they're 2 very different amps to my opinion and to my ear. So this blonde bassman I absolutely love because of that mid-rangey thing, and you know, you can turn these up and hit them with a pedal. You know, I like to use like a Nobles ODR1 or something like this, and these Fender amps just take pedals really well. So that's kind of the whole approach and how I use Fender amps, at least, is I'll normally hit them with pedals. Now, my approach is very different depending on the amp. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the second amp tone here, and that would be the Marshall tone. Now, this particular amp is a 87 Marshall Silver Jubilee, a little bit different from the 68 Plexi that I have down below there. And but really the concept is still kind of similar in that, you know, with a Marshall style amp, I don't really like to use like a Nobles or like a gain pedal or something like this. I only really like to use like a boost, a light boost in front of it. Say maybe like a GE7 if I'm pushing up mid-range or something like this, or, you know, just to kind of filter it and use something in the front end of it, just to boost it up just a little bit, just to add a little bit of gain and just so it feels right under the fingers. Just to my ear and just in my opinion, taking like something like a Nobles pedal or something like this and using it into a Marshall, it just turns into mush and it's just too much gain. And these Marshalls already have a lot of gain on tap. And but the thing is that's beautiful with these amps is that they clean up very well with the guitar volume knob. So that's what is really cool. Fender amps do the same as well. But as I say, it's just a different approach where you're kind of getting more of the gain from pedals, say, whereas the Marshall, you're getting it more from the actual amp itself. And as I say, when you're just running too many gain pedals with a Marshall, it just turns to mush, and the amp already has a lot of gain, and you're turning these things up, and it's just plenty of gain. Really, just a light boost is all you really need with a Marshall style amp. Now, Marshalls in particular are very mid-rangey. They can be kind of bright. They can be kind of scrappy sounding, which is really cool and is very effective. It works really well in a mix. And that's kind of the big difference between the Fender and the Marshall tone, is that a Fender tone is going to be a lot more mid-scooped. It's going to be a lot more, as I say, clean, a lot more pedal-friendly, where it's just a different approach, as I say, with the gain pedals. So the Marshalls have a much more mid-rangey kind of bite and kind of the scrappy kind of tone, which is really, really killer with like a Les Paul or like an SG or something like this. Just works really well in a mix. And it's just great to just plug straight into the amp and just use very minimal pedals. And that's really how I use a Marshall when I'm just ready to rock. So now I'm going to go on over to the third amp tone here. Now you'll see I have several different amps that are, you know, Marshall style or Fender style. I have another Blackface Bassman there. The Sur Plexi, which is like a Marshall Plexi, really cool new take. This is a diesel VH4. It's like a real high gain kind of thing, but can also do cleans really well. Like the Channel 1 does cleans really well, and the Channel 2 is kind of like a JSAM 800, so it's a much lighter gain. But I really only go to that amp for when I'm really going for like a high gain kind of thing, kind of Marshall-y. But anyways, so then we're going to go on over to the last amp here, and this is a Matchless DC30, which is based upon the Vox amp tone. So that's going to be the third and the last amp tone that I really go for as a pro musician. Now, with the Vox, it's also mid-rangey and can be kind of bright, but it's very chimey, and it pairs really well with like a Telecaster. It's just a perfect combination, and it's just a really particular tone. Now, something that I would say is that if you take like a Plexi style amp, like say the Sur Plexi, or, you know, like an old Marshall Plexi here, it's a 6850 watt Plexi. If you were to take like a treble booster and you were to plug it straight into this amp, you could actually get it to sound very similar to an actual Vox. And you'd be amazed at how close you can actually get them, because they are similar in tone, but the Vox, it just has this chimey kind of thing, and it's just, once you hear it, it's just very addicting, and it's just really awesome. It just sounds so good. And especially like if you're going for that U2 kind of delay with like a dotted eighth delay or something like this, it's just absolutely perfect. It's totally the vibe. So it really depends on what exactly it is that I'm going for as to how I decide between which one of these tones that I go for. And even sometimes I'll actually blend both of them. So on my pedal board, I have a stereo out that I can feed 2 amps with. And I can feed a Marshall and a Vox that pairs up really well. Or I can pair up a Fender and a Vox, or a Fender and a Marshall. Kind of whatever combination that I would want. It really works well, and that's, sometimes I will do that as well. It just really depends on the gig and how much that I can actually bring. But this is all just little tips here that I just wanted to share with y'all as far as the 3 amp tones that I go for. And it just depends on the music, depends on what I'm going for. So I hope that this video helped y'all out, and I really appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Be sure again to subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment down below. And thank you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. I'm having so much fun on YouTube and sharing all this stuff with you guys. And y'all stay tuned. I've got a masterclass and a new website coming out here soon. So y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all.